So everyone speaks about AI agents and automation, and OpenAI has just released a new ChatGPT agent. So is this just another hype, or could this be the beginning of something bigger? Especially in the context of data analysis, because OpenAI speaks about that this new ChatGPT agent is particularly strong in the fields of data analysis and the work with spreadsheets. We can also give the agent access to external services with our credentials, and the agent is also very strong in creating PowerPoint slides. So let's dive in. OpenAI introduced ChatGPT agent. So everyone talked about this year, 2025 is supposed to be the year for AI agents. The ChatGPT agent from OpenAI combines and improves the previous tools of ChatGPT, Operator, and Deep Research into one agent that can complete complex tasks on its own. ChatGPT can now use its own virtual computer to do tasks independently and handle complicated workflows from start to finish. Here, for example, you can see that the ChatGPT agent can also work with spreadsheets. It can visit Expedia to plan our trips for traveling. We can also work through PowerPoint slides. It can run code and much more. ChatGPT can now do work for us using the computer. So we can now ask ChatGPT things like, please look at my calendar and brief me on upcoming client meetings based on recent news, or also plan and buy ingredients to make Japanese breakfast for 4, or analyze 3 competitors and create slides. ChatGPT moves through websites, filters results, asks for secure login if needed, runs codes, analyzes data, and gives editable presentations and spreadsheets with the results. At the center of this new ability is a unified agent system. This brings key strengths together, like Operator's ability to work with websites and deep research skills in analysis and synthesis, and especially ChatGPT's intelligence and conversation abilities. How does it work technically? ChatGPT uses its virtual computer to smoothly switch between thinking and acting based on our prompts, so our instructions, in order to complete complex tasks. There's one thing I like the most, which is that we can stay in control at all times. So ChatGPT asks for permission before doing important actions, and we can pause, take over, or stop the process whenever we want. Starting today, Pro, Plus, and Team users can turn on the new agent feature in ChatGPT by simply selecting Agent Mode. But let's compare the ChatGPT agent with Operator and Deep Research. Both tools had their own strength, Operator and Deep Research. Operator could scroll, click, and type on the web, which made it especially good at finding and interacting with online content. And Deep Research was very strong at reading, analyzing, and summarizing complex information. However, both had clear limits. Operator couldn't do deep analysis, understand complex topics, or write full reports, and Deep Research couldn't interact with websites or get content that required logging in. But the truth is, many users' requests needed both types of abilities at the same time. And OpenAI noticed this and decided to combine the best parts of both tools into one system inside ChatGPT, the ChatGPT agent. And this ChatGPT agent can now understand information deeply and also interact with websites, making it much more useful for a wide range of tasks, for instance, at spreadsheets. This is especially interesting for me for data analysis purposes. So here, also given this example, you can type in instructions, for instance, for searching information in the internet, giving the ChatGPT agent the tasks, performing the following steps in order. Step 1 is finding in the internet the San Francisco City Annual Comprehensive Financial Report. Step 1 is here finding the San Francisco City Annual Comprehensive Financial Reports, and then collect the information and process everything in one spreadsheet. Here we can see that this has been extracted from one PDF file and the result is one spreadsheet Excel table. Another use case is also using the ChatGPT agent for PowerPoint slides. In this example, there's also an instruction: could you help me research options for office openings in Singapore and create a PowerPoint slide. Here you can see all the information has been extracted from the internet, and this is the final PowerPoint. So here we can notice it's not only a simple PowerPoint presentation like a comparable presentation being provided from Microsoft Copilot, but this is much more because those information are extracted from the internet, and also the way how the presentation looks is quite professional. So we can see the ChatGPT agent has many useful tools that help it complete different kind of tasks. The agent can use a virtual browser to work with websites like a human would, a text-based browser to quickly read and understand web pages, a terminal also for running commands, and of course also API success for other applications. As shown also in the video, we can give access to external tools like our Google Calendar or also apps like Gmail to manage our emails. So this lets it find and use the right information directly in its answers. But we can also log in on any website by taking over the browser, allowing it to go deeper and broader in both its research and task execution. The agent chooses the best way to do a task, depending on what's required. It can read websites, use APIs to get data, so to extract it from the internet, or also handle tasks that needed logging in. But here we must say, if a login is needed, we can sign in yourself. We can sign in ourselves and then let the agent continue. Everything runs on its own virtual computer, which remembers the full process even when it uses several tools at once. This makes the ChatGPT agent very flexible, fast, and also accurate, able to do both simple and complex tasks smoothly. Before we dive into our own examples, let's have a look at some benchmarks. Here, for instance, we can see the benchmark Humanities Last Exam. So this test checks if the AI can understand and use complex human knowledge from many fields. Similar to university final exams, questions from several subjects like history, math, philosophy, and medicine, but also open-ended answers, not only multiple choice. And the goal is real understanding and clear explanation and correct use of knowledge. And here we can see that the ChatGPT agent reached 41.6% compared to deep research only 26.6%. And this is the exact same number which was also been published recently when OpenAI introduced O3 and O4 Mini. So this is definitely a huge progress. So far, this is supposed to be the highest accuracy from all OpenAI tools in Humanities Last Exam benchmark. Let's speak about FrontierMath. FrontierMath measures how well the AI can solve hard math problems, like in math competitions, advanced math topics like algebra, geometry, or number theory. So it's not just calculations, but also creative thinking, and the AI must explain and support its answers clearly. Here we can also notice a huge progress in comparison to OpenAI O4 Mini or O3 of Python. And especially interesting is also the field of data science with the DSBench benchmark, which is designed to evaluate agents on realistic data science tasks spanning data analysis and data modeling. And also here the ChatGPT agent notably surpasses human performance by a significant margin. Last but not least, let's also have a look at the SpreadSheet This is a special test designed to see how well an AI model can handle real spreadsheet tasks, so tasks in Excel. Me personally, I'm still very disappointed from the Copilot from Microsoft in Excel, but seeing those new numbers, I'm pretty interested and excited to see how the ChatGPT agent performs in spreadsheet tasks. Here we can see a significant improvement if we compare to OpenAI O3, GPT-4o, or also the Copilot in Excel. So here this Spreadsheet bench is not about basic math, it's about more complex realistic tasks in Excel or to work with spreadsheets. So changing cell content without breaking formatting, creating or adjusting formulas, restructuring tables, filtering, sorting, or summarizing data. So as you can see, in testing, the ChatGPT agent was able to solve 45.5% of tasks with direct spreadsheet access, which is even twice as many as Microsoft Copilot in Excel, which only solved 20%. Back in the ChatGPT interface, we want to give it a try by ourselves. So let's use the ChatGPT agent for data analysis purposes. Well, where do we even find the ChatGPT agent? First of all, you can simply click on Tools, and then you can see the new agent mode appears here. You can also see that I only have 37 shots left for this month, and more will be available on August 24th. So at the moment, I am using the Plus subscription of OpenAI for ChatGPT, and as you can see, I'm limited in the shots I can use when using the ChatGPT agent. So let's start with an example for the data analysis. So I've prepared already a spreadsheet with some sales data, as you can see, containing multiple columns, an ID column, a date column, transaction code, but also country and city, business unit, product name, and it's also possible to calculate the sales based on price and volume. So in the first place, we use ChatGPT 4.0 to generate a prompt. And the prompt we're gonna get back, we can then use in the second step to work with the ChatGPT agent for the data analysis. So we can also just drag and drop this Excel data table, which is called sales data. And the prompt looks like that. Analyze the Excel file to formulate a detailed prompt for the ChatGPT agent. The goal is for the Excel file to be read, revenue calculated based on price and sales volume, and a deep analysis of the data to be created. Evaluations should be conducted by federal state, sales location, business area, and product name, with interactive visualizations. And in addition, the agent should also create a PowerPoint presentation with the most important analysis results. So at the moment, I'm also still testing when working with the ChatGPT agent what actually works and performs the best if we give more context, which we're also used when interacting with ChatGPT. The more context we give, the better the results get, since it's all about giving context. But sometimes it can also happen that the results get better if we create shorter prompts. In this case, so we get this prompt back. You're a data analysis and business intelligence expert. First of all, input data, analyze the attached Excel file. It contains sales transaction records, including date, country, city, business unit, product name, unit price, and volume. Those are the core objectives. Revenue calculation, aggregate evaluations, compute and report the total revenue, the volume sold, the average price, create some visualization, especially interactive ones, maybe with the plotting library Plotly from Python, and then also create a presentation with PowerPoint, and also the advisory role, so give some recommendations after you've analyzed the market environment and the product segments of the company, and those are all the deliverables. So let's just take this prompt, which we have here, and of course, we also jump back into a new chat. So we can just give it in. Then we can also upload the spreadsheet once again. We go to Tools, and then we can just simply activate a new agent mode. So let's send it to the AI agent. So let's send it to the ChatGPT agent, and the agent also starts thinking, then is also setting up the desktop. And then we can see that the agent started. So it started by aggregating the data and plotting. Here we can also see that it's written some Python code. So in the first place, it's of course all about reading the data. So we provided some Excel data, and then the agent uses the library pandas to read the data. And in the next step, it's all about analyzing our table data. Here you can see that the agent also is doing some market research, gaining more information from the internet, like the top 15 smartphone companies, brands worldwide, and aggregating the data for the analysis. So it's very interesting to see how the code is written and to see that the data is not only read, but also the agent is making thoughts about the data types of all columns, aggregating the data, modifying results, searching for more market relevant topics, and browsing the internet. So after 10 minutes, we get back the result. But one thing we can also notice is that even though we've prompted in English language, now we get back the result in German language. But don't worry about it, because if we scroll down, then you can also see that the entire sales data analysis and market insights report is still in English language. But what you can see here is simply the spreadsheet. You can also open it here. And you can also notice that the revenue column is being calculated now based on price and volume. You can also simply download it. And the ChatGPT agent also provided some interactive dashboards as HTML files. So I've downloaded it already, and you can see it's even interactive. You can, for instance, also just select those 4 countries. And you can also notice that it's been supported by Plotly. In the second dashboard, you can also see the business unit performance. You can see the top selling products by revenue, or you can also see the revenue per country. This is also quite interesting. You can see where the sales are coming from. So let's get back to the report. First of all, we just have a general overview of the data set. So the provided Excel file contains records of sales transactions during the period December 24 to December 25, and each record includes the transaction date, the country, the city, the business unit, the product name, unit price, and quantity sold. We can also notice here the key figures, like important metrics, like the countries being represented. So in total 8 countries: the US, Sweden, the Netherlands, Spain, Germany, UK, France, and Italy, which we can also see here in this visualization. Then you can also see here the 5 business units, the total revenue, which is by 3.4 million euro. You can see the total units sold and also the time range. Then let's speak about the methodology and data preparation. So first of all, the ChatGPT agent started by data cleaning. So missing values were inspected, no missing prices or volumes were found, and the dates were converted to datetime objects with the programming language Python. So this is the date being given to the ChatGPT agent. And the next step, also the revenue has been calculated, so based on price and also based on the volume. You can also see here the aggregation and also the data visualization and the sales performance by country. Here we do see also the country highlights in this table. We can notice that the biggest country in sales is the US, Sweden, and also the Netherlands. We can see the sales performance by city, or also business unit and product performance. Here also a business unit summary has been provided in this table. Temporal trends also, sales display strong seasonality, revenue peaked in Jan 25 and remained elevated through the first quarter of 25. Then also some further external market insights. This is pretty interesting because we've given also the ChatGPT task, the ChatGPT agent the task to get some more information about this market. And here you can also see some sources. You can just simply click on it, and then also you can see where the information are coming from. So the European consumer electronics market was valued at 360 billion in 2024 and is forecasted to reach 630 billion by 2033. Then we can see more information also about the other business units in their markets, and also more information about the competitive landscape and pricing benchmarks. Last but not least, also growth opportunities and also some recommendations. So this is really a task a consultant would actually do, telling the company it should focus more on high revenue markets like in the US, Sweden, and the Netherlands, and also expand smart home and wearable offerings. In the end, let's also have a look at the presentation. what the ChatGPT agent provided. You can download it as PowerPoint file, but you can also extend it here, and you can also play the slideshow. So let's have a look. Sales analysis and market insights, consumer electronics. You can see the agenda, dataset overview, methodology, country city performance, business unit product analysis, trends over time, market environment, competitors, and a conclusion, and also some recommendation. When it comes to the first page, dataset overview and methodology, I must say this is not the best. It's funny because this is not the best table or visualization here provided. In the next slide, we can also see the country sales performance. Then we can see the top cities performance, business unit, and also top products performance. We can also see the monthly sales over time, and also the market environment and competitors, and also a conclusion. With the new update, ChatGPT can now take actions directly on the internet. This brings many new possibilities, but also some new risks. For the first time, the agent can work with our personal data, like accessing to our Gmail service, Gmail, Google Calendar, or also other connected apps we give access to. But even on the internet, using websites where we have to log in through takeover mode. So to keep things safe, extra security steps have been added. These build on earlier protections and now include control for live web data, more users, and limited access to the internet through the terminal. But since the agent can now do more and is available to more people, the overall risk is also higher. One of the biggest concerns is the topic prompt injection. This is when hidden commands are placed inside the website and the AI might follow them by mistake, like sharing our private information or doing something we didn't want. Since the agent can actually take action, these kinds of attacks are more serious than in regular chat models. Therefore, OpenAI added several safety features. The agent is trained to recognize these kinds of attacks. It always asks us for a permission before doing anything important, and we can also just simply pause or stop it at any time. But OpenAI also gives advice, so we're not supposed to share sensitive information unless needed, and we can also turn off connectors if we don't use them. So what did we learn in this tutorial? The ChatGPT agent shows real potential in the fields of data analysis, delivering better results than the base models, reasoning models, or also the data analyst feature of ChatGPT. But of course, this was just an initial test. There's so much more to explore with the new ChatGPT agent. With the ability to connect to external services, the possibilities for automation and integration are huge. But personally, my favorite for AI-driven automation is the N8N platform. If you are curious about how to combine tools like ChatGPT with powerful workflow automation, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.